Hey, this is Sarah Lynn at Easy Divers, and welcome to Tune In Tuesday. Before I turn the stage over to Damon, and the things he's going to talk to you about tonight, I want to remind everybody that we are open by appointment for anybody that needs some last-minute Christmas gift shopping. We can deliver or do curbside drop-off or make one-on-one appointments. Our next Scuba Fitness Fanatic session will be on Saturday, the 19th from 10 to 11:30. So if you want one more quick dip in the water before the new year gets here, that would be the day for it. So now I'm going to turn this over to Damon. He's a dive master at Easy Divers. He's got a little message for you right now.
Hey guys, I'm Damon with Easy Divers, and what we're going to talk about is toward the end of the year, and people are starting to slow down for their diving, and we're looking at how to put our gear together, where it's not going to be such a problem when we're ready to start back our season when the summertime. So first off, at the end of most dives, you have your gear bag set like so. It's nice and neat. Everything's in there nice and neat. But you don't want to leave it like this over the winter. Everything's compacted, and you don't want to have that compacted gear squished up like this. We're going to open it up a little bit, so we're going to show you a couple of ways to make that happen. We've got 5 basic parts that we want to talk about, 5 pieces of gear that we really want to emphasize on. Number 1 is the tank. On your tank, again, make sure that you've got an O-ring in there. Have a minimum of at least 300 psi. Stand it in an upright position. Check your VIP, check your hydrostatic date. That's stamped on the side of the tank. Make sure all that's good to go. Now, since you're not diving right now, that'll be a good time to get that serviced and stuff like that. Next is our regulator. Let's talk about the regulators and the BCDs. At the end of your dive day, make sure you do a good rinse with fresh water. At the end of your dive season, we want to do a nice soaking for at least 2 hours. We want to soak our gear, every piece of gear that we have, our regulators, BCDs, wetsuits, everything that we own, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail. Now, we've already soaked ours, and this is how I set mine gear at the end of the dive, or for storage time. In my BCD, I've soaked it and concentrate right there on the Schrader valve, because that's some of the problems we see with getting salt particles in there. You notice there's no stress on the hoses. Make sure your the dust cover is on your first stage, and a little bit of air inside of your BCD, because you don't want the inner bladder touching each other. You want to keep a little bit of space in there. It keeps it dry on the inside also. Other things we talk about during the soaking is when we soak our soaking our wetsuits. On our wetsuits, when we soak these, a key problem that we can sometimes have is with these zippers. Not only on your wetsuit itself, but on your booties. Soak those also. When we hang these, there's a couple of different hangers we recommend. Make sure you have something with a broad shoulder on it. That's not going to pinch the shoulder parts up here at the top. It gives more flexibility. This is one of the ones we use also for the BCDs. I'm sorry, for the wetsuits. For the BCDs, your hanger should have some little hooks on the side here so that it doesn't slide off the shoulder parts. Alrighty. Let's move back over here. So, we talked about the tank, the regulator, the BCD, and the wetsuit. The 2 main problems we all have if we don't store this properly, the sunlight, the UV light, and the ozone is going to break down your gear. The other thing is salt. We really have to soak our gear, again, for a minimum at least 2 hours. Just let it sit and soak. It's not going to hurt anything. Then make sure everything's completely dry before you store it over your winter time. The other thing I want to talk about is our accessories. Once we take out our BCD and regulator and hang it up, your accessories. For example, your mask. Your mask, when you bought it, should be in a little case. Keep it in the case. Make sure it's air dried out before you store it in here, or you're going to have a science project when you open it back up when the water warms up. Other things are your fins. If you want to store these, don't store them on the ends, because it'll bend the ends of your fins. Make sure you got your boot jacks on the bottom there also. Your mask, your fins, and your snorkel. Make sure you soak this snorkel also, because you can build all kinds of goodies up on the inside there also. So soak everything nicely and make sure it's dried out before you store it in there. Other accessories, what we'll talk about, the last two things, is what's in your pockets of your BCDs. Make sure you take the stuff out of your pockets, and that they dry also. Mainly your SMB, your surface marker buoy. Make sure it's unwound, rinsed out very well too, and let it hang up to dry. On your, if you carry a knife of some type and lights, make sure you don't store your batteries over the season that you're not going to use it. Unscrew the tops. Make sure your silicone O-rings, or it has silicone grease that you can grease the O-rings. Take the batteries out. With that excess grease that you have, though, you can put that on your knife to give it a coating also. So that's just a few of the things. Come by and see us. If you have more questions, the equipment specialty course is something you can maybe help you out with that. But again, we're looking forward to diving with you guys this coming season. Feel free to join us again. Call us anytime, and we're here available for you. This is Damon with Easy Divers. Have a good night.